And we're live.
I need to fucking rewatch King of the Hill again.
It's been a couple. Watched it like last.
I know. I'm
year.
joking. Hey, Kyle, you'll like this. I started Supernatural.
Well, I'll see you in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, dude. Why did you kick off the boys?
It's because I was sitting there with my girlfriend the other night, and she was like, "Have you ever watched this show, Supernatural?" And I was like, "No, I've never seen an episode, but Kyle's recommended it and Woody very highly." She's like, "Let's watch it. Let's watch it." And it's pretty good. I like it.
I like it through this lens.
Start at the beginning.
We started at the very, very beginning. Season 1, episode 1, where Negan gets his wife burned, and then there's the big gap of what happened in their life, where apparently they're super soldiers now with like katana skills. And then who is it? Dean or Sam? It's Dean who shows back up to Sam, who's in a happy relationship, and drags him back into the mix. And they fight the woman in white, the first one, and then subsequent monsters and the other ones. I like it. I'm enjoying the show.
It was Kyle who pointed out to me their very bad special effects budget. And it's funny because, they go from town to town battling demons and monsters and this and that. So they'll be like, ooh, we're in Springfield, Illinois, and there's a dragon here. The dragon is a person with glowing fingertips. Just like, dragon.
Or, like off camera, like they just pipe in some audio of wings flapping, and he arrives.
Yeah, the wings are put away.
The wings get put away under a trench coat. Yeah, it gets better over time because it did become like a very popular show. Their salaries are outrageous. Like how much the two main actors make. Like let me look it up again. I don't want to be wrong.
Does Negan come back into the mix ever?
Oh, lots. He's in and out a lot. Yeah.
Which one's Negan?
The
Jeffrey
dad.
Dean Morgan, their father.
Oh.
Who plays Negan in The Walking Dead.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't know what his name was, but that's
cool.
who
I'm not judging someone for forgetting a person's name.
I should have even defended myself. I should have known.
Yeah, so they get paid like $125,000 each per episode.
Hell yeah, good for them. Just fucking raking it in.
But it's like 20 episodes a year, so that's good.
They make 20 episodes a fucking year, and they have been doing it since I was a small child.
Are they
like in the first episode? Like it's so old that it's like, oh well, you got to call Dad. Don't you have him on your car phone? It's like Jesus fucking Christ. These
Technology
people have been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah, like at this point, they're like one of the things they always do is like Sam is really good at like getting on the internet and hacking into things and finding backstory and looking up like court records and documents.
Watching internet use, like savvy internet use on TV shows from the early 2000s, late 90s is like, oh no, we got Sam or Dean. He's on the case. And he'll sit down and like pensively type something into Alta Vista. And it's like, what are you doing? Like this isn't hacking. You just did the precursor to Google.
Yeah, it's a good show. I mean, buckle up because I mean, they avert like 8 apocalypses. They fight everything from werewolves. They go to other dimensions. They go to hell, dude, many times.
Bad things happen to them. Like a lot of times, main characters have this plot armor, right? No, things go. They live a rough life, Taylor. And
Sam gets raped a lot.
Raped a lot.
He gets sissy hypnotized.
He gets sissy hypnotized by the devil himself.
Oh no!
He gets butt fucked for like there's time dilation. So like years. 5 minutes on Earth.
The only kind of dilation going on.
So like 5 minutes on Earth is like 5 years in hell. Well, he's in hell for the entire off season, like from fall to spring. So like when they bring him back, he's just a shattered man. He's just.
How many years do I have to wait for this?
That's
like 11. It's like
11 years of
something 20, like that.
20
Taylor, I swear there's so much awful shit. And then their characters get upgraded too. They're like, well, we're going to have to etch our bones with satanic chants or whatever they etch their bones with.
Yep.
And, you know something else I've noticed with the special effects that now that Kyle's pointed out, I've crystallized is they'll be like, we got this F-55 flamethrower specially designed to take down the type of werewolf we're up against. And they'll be like, I don't think it's a werewolf. I think it's a golem. And they're like, well, then this is of no value. And it's like, oh, he needs the big flamethrower use. And then, oh, no, we're going to have to wizard him to death.
Oh, it turns out we need salt.
We need a little bit of Morton's. Get
the big bag of salt, Sam.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of salt in this. Taylor, you're gonna see like just tons of salt poured in circles over the next 20 years. I'm excited for the journey you're about to embark on.
I like when they walk into their dad's insane person hotel room for the first time, and instead of walking around with like tears in their eyes being like, our father's no longer the man we thought he was, what on earth is he doing with his life? They're like, he's picked up a lot of valuable clues about the demon.
It's got one of those walls
Dad
like covered with
out
photos.
that it was a woman in white earlier on. He saw the same news clipping we did. It's like,
yeah, he's got one of those crazy people walls with all the articles and pictures of things connected with string. And instead of being like, oh, he hasn't been taking his medicine, there's like, he's on to something.
Dude, and I swear to fucking God, they were doing a slow pan across his wall of insanity with all the things he suspected, where it'd be like ghouls, goblins, ethereal premonitions, and then one of them was just like, ghosts with a question mark. It might just be ghosts.
They're gonna run into everything, and their knowledge of how to solve different problems is like outrageous. Like, all right, we're gonna need the dagger artifact of Theseus and a chair and a lot of salt and a silver bullet.
The way the dagger of Theseus was hid for so many years is that it appears to be the lowest costing knife at Walmart. But in reality, it is not.
Yeah.
Now you'll notice it says Pyrex here. That's the name of an ancient demon. Certainly not a Tupperware company.
They get more budget as it goes on. I would say like somewhere around season 12 or 13, it seems like they got, I don't know, they got more money, and then they were able to do more cool shit. But they have gone to heaven probably 5 times, and they've gone to hell probably 5 or 6 times as well. And
have we seen it though?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But by seeing it, I mean they like meander around like dungeon hallways.
I feel like I went to heaven and it was just a place on earth. Like
it was like there was some white backgrounds.
That reference I get.
There was like a throne room, you know, some hallways. You know, they went into some of the rooms where people, because the way that heaven works is everyone has their own personal heaven. Because like
Mormons.
Like Mormons, exactly. And which would make sense if you were, you know, because like heaven isn't the same for everyone, right? Like some people might hate everything being gold and clouds and floating and angels and shit. Like for some people, heaven is fucking living in a Popeye's chicken restaurant for the rest of their lives.
Quit picking on Daniel.
I feel like
Cormier.
hating other people's
Daniel Cormier is
to hell.
So everybody has their own little personal heaven. So that was a good way to be like, oh yeah, we're in heaven. Isn't this just mom's house? Yeah, I miss it. All right. But yeah, it's a good show. I like the two actors.
You could imagine for heaven, he didn't go skiing. He didn't.
Dude, the 2 actors you mentioned, that I seem to be the only one that thinks this. Aren't they distractingly good looking?
Of course, that's the whole point. They have a massive female fan base.
They are. I'm just like, the fuck. And Taylor, 15 years from now, they might get better. Like
they might get better looking as the show goes.
Like, what the fuck is with these guys?
I don't know about Dean, but I know looking at Sam, he's one of those guys who's so good looking, makes me upset.
I think Dean's better looking than Sam. He was
go
on
back
Days
and
of
forth.
Our Lives. He was on Days of Our Lives for a long time. Like that's what he was doing before this. Like he's literally like one of those soap opera hunks or whatever. And yeah, they're both like distractingly good looking. And I've said this on the show before, but it's really funny. Like especially in the early seasons, they only help hot women with ghost problems. Like somewhere out there's an ugly black guy who's got ghouls and goblins and spooks all up in his attic, and they're just looking at that article like, nah. There's an underwear model in Des Moines though, and she's got a real case of the vampires. Let's head on over there. And then they fuck the underwear model, kill the ghost, and then slide on out of town before the sun can fucking rise.
Dude, this show's about to get better.
This show kicks ass.
By the way, take note of this since you are watching now. Every woman that Sam ever shows an interest in will die.
I figured that after the first woman he showed interest in died. Because it seems like him showing interest in a woman is kind of antithetical to the show continuing. Like he's got to stay on the mission, right?
Well, I mean, he'll fall in love with women.
Heaven.
He'll fall in love with women who are like on board with what he does. Like they'll be like witches or fucking. They'll be a vampire or they'll be a fellow demon slayer or whatever the fuck. Like you easily could have slid her right into the cast and she could have sat in the back seat. Nope.
No dice, idiot. You don't get to be part of the ghost killing team.
No, she'll fucking be dead.
Kyle,
The last season of every episode, the last show of every season, they play Wayward Son, and it's so good. It's like a little clip show they put together.
Just as good now as it was 20 years ago, right?
Dude, it's really good. You're gonna love it, I swear.
They have this big montage at the beginning of every season. It's like last time. But at this point, 20 years into a show, when they say last time, it's like, all right, buckle up, boys.
Yeah, we've been topping ourselves for 19
fresh
years
in
now.
everyone's memory.
Yeah, because that's
It's
the
a
like.
good show.
At first, you're like, "Ooh, a demon. Her eyes are black." Go 20 years into the same show, and I mean, you've battled whoever is in charge of the devil.
Yeah, exactly. You've battled the devil.
There's I guess a guy higher than him, right?
Who's in charge of the devil? This isn't Lord of the Rings. There's not a Morgoth for Sauron to be taking orders from.
They've beaten the devil, and then they've beaten the guy who replaced the devil, and they've beaten the guy who replaced the guy who replaced the devil, and then they became friends with the guy who replaced that guy, and he pals around with him after a while.
Dude, that sounds pretty dumb, but
no, it's great. It's great.
It's great.
I want to watch it more now.
They
Abandon
literally
this.
make friends with the king of hell.
Don't do what you're doing. Just think of the time that you could be reading the Bible instead of watching this show.
20 seasons times 20 hours a season. You have 400 hours, Taylor. This is a part-time job. We want you to be done.
Learn how to play a harmonica. Do anything else what you're doing. Watch Star Trek The Next Generation. Just watch the last episode. That's my challenge to you. Watch the last episode and forget the rest. Fuck what you're doing.
In the time it would take me to watch this entire series, I could stream enough Fall Guys to get another win.
Colin got another win today.